Racist, fascist, wants to take over the world.
I think he's a busybody. Keep himself to himself. Go back to South Africa where he come from. Spend all his billions out there instead of interfering with England.
Rich boy playing games.
I think he's a massive to be honest.
I think it's very controversial and probably not what we need at the moment.
Dangerous for democracy. He's clearly stirring the far right.
He is just someone who wants fucking attention the whole time. I mean, the fact he's taking a position in the American government, again, everything's just so irresponsible about him. I don't think he understands the size of his influence.
What do you know about Elon Musk?
Oh, what is there not to know? Multi-billionaire, racist, fascist, wants to take over the world. All-round nice guy, yeah.
He's been very vocal on British politics this week. Why do you think he's taking such an interest?
Well, he's a megalomaniac, isn't he? So he wants to. I can see that this is his grab. That's my take on it. So what I worry about is he's got this this duality to him. So he's going on about these British grooming gangs, yet he's endorsing a sexual predator over in America. Do you know what I mean? And it's like the guy doesn't. He just wants everything, and he's like a petulant little child.
Yeah.
That's my take on Elon Musk.
Yeah. He said that Tommy Robinson should be freed from prison this week. What did you make of that?
Well, no, he shouldn't be freed from prison. The guy's a multiple offender. Do you know what I mean? Like whether you agree with his politics or whether you don't agree with his politics, he's in prison for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
He's been pushing the far right at the moment, especially in Germany as well. Sort of like the rise of this fascist party is really worrying, and he's been pushing that heavily, as well as supporting Tommy Robinson. I think he's a massive fucking prick, to be honest, but I think it's really dangerous for someone in his position of power, who owns a social media company, to be portraying his views so aggressively online.
Dangerous for democracy. He's clearly stirring the far right. He's clearly looking to create a situation in the United Kingdom similar to this situation in the United States, where politics is polarised, where you're either for or against. There's no common ground. There's no room for compromise. I think it's a very dangerous move.
This week he's been getting quite involved in British politics. He called for the freeing of a far-right agitator. He said that Nigel Farage should step down as Reform leader. Why do you think he is taking such an interest in British politics?
I'm not entirely sure, apart from the fact that I think he's just interested in kind of power and influence. I actually think he and Farage could have been good for each other. Not that I support either of them, but I think that they could have been quite symbiotic, but they obviously had a falling out. I think because Farage quite rightly said that he wouldn't want Tommy Robinson as part of Reform, but I think that Elon Musk just isn't kind of the business of disruption, and so I think somebody like Tommy Robinson to him is probably quite interesting because it's just about disruptive, it's about clicks, it's about attention. So I think I don't agree with anything Farage says, but apart from the fact that he probably doesn't want Tommy Robinson as part of Reform, and it's just interesting how that one step can make him, fall afoul of Musk.
His character as a person, he is just someone who wants fucking attention the whole time. I mean, the fact he's taking a position in the American government, again, everything's just so fucking irresponsible about him. I don't think he understands the size of his influence and how damaging and dangerous it is to do something like that. And I think he's just looking for attention, to be honest.
Before he fell out with Nigel Farage on Twitter, Nigel Farage was considering taking $100 million in donations from him. Do you think British political parties should be accepting so much money from foreign billionaires?
No, definitely not. I mean, in America it works differently. They do lobbying and stuff like that. In the UK it is a bit more underhand. But I think it's unacceptable, especially a party like Reform. I mean, it's so dangerous. People sort of... the rhetoric going around is so dangerous in itself. And Nigel Farage, he's a fucking twat as well.
Again, I think it's very controversial and probably not what we need at the moment with all the other things going around in the world.
Do you think that British political parties should be considering accepting a lot of money from foreign billionaires?
Absolutely not.
No, we've gone for years on our own without people interfering. Our own people, yes, give whatever they want. But he ain't doing it for England or Britain, he's just doing it for himself. Same as in America. And he's made himself busy in Germany now as well.
Reform UK is a limited company, so they can get money from anywhere they want. Do you know what I mean? I mean, they've got to go through the tax havens and stuff like that, but they're not under the same umbrella as, say, like if the Labour Party wanted to get 100 million donations. They're a limited company, so they can do what they want. So it's just a scary route that we're going down, and I wish that I hadn't made that deal with the devil to live forever now, because I'm going to have to live through it, you know what I mean?
I think already just as a U.S. citizen, I think there's too much money in our politics. I mean, elections in the U.S. are won by which party can raise more money, as opposed to, I think, real issues. And so I think that it's really dangerous if the UK goes down that route. And I especially, I think, when it comes from, well, whether we're calling Musk South African or American, but from foreign investors in your politics, for lack of a better word, or agitators. But I think that that's something that the UK should probably avoid. As somebody who's living here, I just find that the politics here are not perfect, of course, but they seem a little cleaner because there's just not as much big finance involved.
I think it's interesting to think that if Elon Musk is kind of taking the reins of that party by making a big donation, then he probably would have the big say in who's leading that party. And I think there's a Trumpian view of trying to get their hands into foreign policies, foreign countries' policies, which it makes me feel quite uncomfortable. It shouldn't be up to American businessmen to decide who are the leaders of British political parties. So, like I said, he's welcome to make the claim. I would have a problem with him making the donation in the first place. I think that that's quite dangerous and quite worrying. But that being said, if he does make the donation and he is a big, shareholder's not the word, but a big donator in the party, and obviously would hold the reins in the party, it'd be quite worrying. I think he's not a politician. Obviously the policies that he would decide to enact would obviously be beneficial for him. And I think that would be the bottom line, really, for him, for the US. And he's got close ties with Trump. A strong America, I think, is needed for the safety of a lot of people around the world. Obviously they've made mistakes and wars in the past and everything like that, and every country's made mistakes. But it does go. It worries me to think that there is a politician with a sort of strongman authoritarian stance that Trump has, and backed up with very divisive figures like Elon Musk. And that's the bottom line. He is so divisive. Whatever you think of him as a person, he's had his personal sort of what's the word? Sort of clashes and stuff like that, and people are, I think, quite confused about what it is he really wants.
I just think they're all just fucking wankers, to be honest. But it's just very dangerous that people with his power are pushing these views. And I think there needs to be more reform on social media companies to make sure these views can't be widespread, because there's so much misinformation out there. And a lot of people don't understand that it is misinformation, and they take it to heart. And so it's really worrying. You're getting these radicalised views. I mean, social media just is sort of pushing the left further left and the right further right, and there's no time to actually have a meaningful debate or sort of discourse. It's all just sort of people cancelling each other online. So I think there needs to be a way for people to actually have meaningful discourse about problems and issues, as opposed to just shouting at each other from social media from different sides.